Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest content update since the launch of Modern Warfare is now here, as Season 1 is officially live on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, alongside the brand new 1.10 update, which adds in all of these Season 1 content, like the Battle Pass, the new DLC maps, the new weapons, and everything else we'll be breaking down today, on top of a few new gameplay changes, adjustments, and other fixes too. So today we're taking a look at all of the major changes that just came to the game with the 1.10 update and the Season 1 launch. But before we jump into that, if you are new here, hey, hi, how you doing? Each and every day I am always covering the latest Call of Duty news and intel, so if you want to stay on top of all of that, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know when I upload a new video. And of course, if you enjoy this one, let me know by dropping a like rating on it, as it would be much appreciated. Now let's get into the major changes that were just added into the game with the brand new 1.10 updates. So first and foremost, this update is roughly 15 gigs in size, at least on PlayStation 4, roughly 18 gigs on Xbox, and then over on PC it is right around 20 gigs, so definitely a pretty big update physically. And of course, if you are on PlayStation, you're gonna have that lovely hour or so of copying most likely, so woohoo! Now, obviously, the biggest aspect of the 1.10 update is the launch of Season 1, which is going to offer quite a bit of content over the next several weeks. As of right now, the Battle Pass screen currently says that the season will be coming to a close in just over 61 days, which ends up coming out to Monday, February 3rd, when you go ahead and count that down. But as we know, these kinds of new updates go live on Tuesdays, so most likely the Season 1 Battle Pass, and I guess the whole season, will end up coming to an end on the morning of Tuesday, February 4th, and then right away after that update ends up downloading, Season 2 and all of its new content will then go live. Anyways, as of today, we have the additions of the Crash 6v6 map, the gunfight maps of Atrium and Cargo, and the ground war map of Port, alongside the new weapons of the Ram 7 and the Holger 26, a few new Spec Ops experiences, and the multiplayer mode of Reinforce. Then, later on throughout the season, we'll end up seeing the maps of Vacant and Shipment added in, the gunfight map of Shipment added in, some more Spec Ops experiences, and some additional modes like Infected and also Gunfight OSP. But of course, above all, the single biggest piece of content that we got today comes in the form of the Battle Pass, which features 100 tiers of both free and paid variety unlocks, including the two aforementioned weapons that are free for everyone. Now you do have a few choices when buying the Battle Pass as well. You can either spend 1,000 COD points and just buy the base pass, or you can spend 2,400 COD points and get the boosted pass, which features the base pass alongside 20 tiers that are automatically unlocked right out of the gate. I should also mention that the paid pass does contain 1,300 COD points available to unlock by the end of it, meaning if you were to spend 1,000 COD points and then complete the pass, you can actually end up earning all of those COD points back and then some, so just keep that in mind. There is also a brand new in-game store available where you can buy various bundles containing items like watches, operator skins, emblems, calling cards, and some weapon variants. And currently we have the bundles of the Huntsman for 1,800 COD points, the Night Stalker for 1,500 COD points, and also the Fireclaw for 1,000 COD points. And each and every week the shop is going to be updated with new items and bundles for you to purchase if you so choose. Now, alongside the brand new content that we got with the launch of Season 1, the 1.10 update also brought with it a handful of bug fixes and some other gameplay changes as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into those. First and foremost here we have a brand new playlist update that features Crash 24/7, and that ends up actually replacing Shoot House 24/7 for the time being. And then we also see that we have Reinforce in its own separate playlist, and they also added Ramaza and Gunrunner to TDM 20 and Dom 20, so we can now play 10v10 on those maps. That I am personally very excited about. And then lastly, for the playlist side of things, they also added night maps to Hardcore TDM, Search and Destroy, and also Cyber Attack, so there is a little more variety there now. They also removed a few things with this brand new update, and here, Gun Game is no longer available, at least in public matches. You can still play it in custom games though, if you wish. Then, as I mentioned, Shoot House 24/7 is gone, and they also removed the 2v2 gunfight tournament for the time being, but of course those will all likely be back at some points further on down the road. Now, getting into the general fixes, here first we see that there was some tuning to the Riot Shield, as they tuned how the shield protects against grenades when thrown at the player's feet, and they also reduced the explosive damage within certain ranges. They also ended up fixing a bug where the final kill cam would appear under the map when a player got stuck by a thermite or a semtex on the lower part of the body. They fixed an issue where players stuck inside of an infantry assault vehicle would not end up taking damage from the thermites. They fixed a bug where players attempting to scroll to the bottom of the recent players list could sometimes see the prompt of no recent players appear. And in private matches for gunfights, they fixed the win by 2 setting to end the game properly once the conditions have been met. There was also even more challenges and missions adjusted in this patch too, and here the following challenges are now fixed and or have had their descriptions updated as needed. Close and Personal, Perks of the Job, Bloodthirsty Killer, Destroy Ground Kill Streaks. Here, all player-driven vehicles will now count towards this launcher camo challenge, meaning vehicles in ground war like the ATV for instance will now count towards that. Get 50 kills while an enemy UAV is active. Here, the description was updated to reflect that the Ghost perk needs to be equipped in order for those to actually track. The Combat Knife challenge descriptions were updated. The 357 camo challenges were fixed. There were various updates to other camo challenges, and they also fixed the Officer Challenge completion notifications not appearing on the screen. Moving on into the kill streaks, here they improved the effectiveness of FMJ on kill streaks, and they also added a fix for the cluster strike dealing damage inconsistently when targeting a VTOL jet specifically. Getting into the weapons, there really was not a ton of weapon tuning this time around. However, they did nerf the 357 buckshot, aka the snake shot rounds, as they reduced the damage range, they reduced the effective hipfire damage, and they also tuned the spread adjustments from the barrel attachments. Then they also made some menu damage stat bar adjustments for various light machine guns. This update also features a handful of Spec Ops specific updates as well, including a fix for a bug where the informant can be dropped in a bad position near enemy soldiers in Operation Harbinger. They added a checkpoint after the third hack in Operation Brimstone. They fixed a bug where players could become stuck after going into last stand while breaching the trains on Operation Brimstone. And enemies in white trucks now exit their vehicles, which honestly I have to say is great news because I was getting pretty worried they were going to be charged for loitering. Now for keyboard and mouse, leaderboards will no longer display complete gamer tags. They fixed an issue where players would not be able to mantle while strafing with keyboard and mouse. They increased the turn rate when aiming with the tank. They adjusted the camera orbit turn rate while driving a vehicle, and the keybind vehicle camera recenter is now linked to melee by default. For the COD caster setting, there were a few changes made as well, including improvements for the camera transitions with the free camera and aerial camera. They added a killstreak view option when using the portrait list. They added arrows under the players when using the aerial camera view, and they added a skull icon on the minimap where players die. Then, finally, to wrap up the changes for today, on PC specifically, they fixed an issue that forced shaders to be fully recompiled after each and every title update. So for those of you on PC, you should now not have to be reinstalling shaders every few days, because I know that was a pretty prominent problem prior to today's updates. That was a lot of alliteration there. So, all things considered, the patch notes themselves really were not too extravagant this time around. There wasn't honestly a ton of stuff that ended up changing in any of the modes. However, where this patch was really based was that Season 1 content, which is why the update itself is so much larger than what we are used to seeing. Between the content that actually came to the game today, and presumably all the assets for the upcoming content of the new maps, Spec Ops experiences, and other multiplayer modes, that kind of explains why this update was so big, despite there not really being all that many changes or adjustments made on the back ends. Regardless though, the 1.10 update is definitely the biggest one that we've seen so far, both in terms of physical size and also in terms of content, and hopefully it can be followed up by a few productive patches as well. Anyways, with all of that being said, that is effectively everything that changed with the brand new 1.10 update here in Modern Warfare, and that is going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like rating on it, as it would be much appreciated. And of course, if you are new here and you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the world of Call of Duty, including all the latest news and intel, updates and leaks, and pretty much everything else in between, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know when I post a new video. As always, if you would like to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL on all Scuff, G Fuel, Control Freak, and Respawn products. And of course, if you do want to pick up a new hoodie just in time for winter, my first ever merch design is available now. All of those links can be found down in the description below, and once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.